Minecraft 1.14 is right around the corner and packed full with many amazing new features, mostly improving the current village system. And while the update is already so amazing, it seems that some of you believe that there is room for even more cool additions to the game. To be a bit more specific, I've been getting a lot of requests for one idea in particular. My name is System Z, and today we're checking out your suggestion and my concept for airships in Minecraft 1.14. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more building related content and live streams every weekday at 5 p.m. Central Time. How's it going, everybody, and welcome to my concept for airships in Minecraft 1.14. Now, this is a suggestion that I have been getting from a lot of you, and I wasn't necessarily going to make a video on it until I started playing with it a little bit more. Because at surface value, I simply do not think this would fit in the game too well, but again, after exploring, I could definitely see how this would be a cool idea. So as you can see, I've got an airship built right here in front of me. Let's go ahead and analyze the build, shall we? We've got a very basic pirate ship. Now what I did here is the same thing I did in the pirate ship video, where I essentially summoned in a structure of a right side up full ship, I believe is what the file is called. And I went ahead and cleaned it up a little bit, and instead of building a sail, I went ahead and built this poorly designed balloon. And leave the criticism, please, at least for the comments. I know it doesn't look that great, but I'm proud of it. I think it looks pretty cool after all, especially with this draped material I have on top, which before we kind of, I guess jumping ahead to the idea, I think it'd be cool to see this change colors depending on, I guess, the biome or just simply out of random choice, but a little bit more on that once we talk about the idea. Very basic design here. A lot of detail, though, and that's a little bit outside of normal Minecraft, but just forgive me. I love to make my builds look good. We've also got a Steampunk Villager, which looks familiar. I think they might shop at the same place I shop. Same shirt, after all, and same goggles even. Look at that. Where do you shop, dude? Because apparently it's the same place I do. But yeah, Steampunk Villagers. Again, more on that in just a moment. And if we explore the ship, you'll see that we've got a lot of little, decorations around the place that kind of set a theme for this particular airship. And again, before we get into it, I've also built a Illager, or this is a Pillager, that's right, Pillager version as well, using the Pillager colors here and the dark oak that kind of matches their outpost and their banners. So basically the same ship here, just a little bit, different tone, I guess, to set the mood for the Pillagers. This one's a little bit more daunting. We've also got the Ravager now is what it's called, hidden away here, so this is very cool. A lot to explore on these ships. And of course, my favorite detail is this campfire to use, heat so that it travels up to keep the actual pirate ship afloat. I keep calling it a pirate ship. It's not necessarily a pirate ship, but again, forgive me on that. This is an airship, and I love that. So let me know what you think of that down in the comments below. But anyways, let's go ahead and check out this idea. So I think it would be really cool, and a lot of you think so as well, to be able to find airships in Minecraft all around the world, and I think there's a couple of places that they could spawn. Now, before we talk about that, we got to answer the question, do they move? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Now, right now, we don't really have anything that actually moves around. Now, obviously, it wouldn't make too much sense if it didn't move around, but we do already have the end ships and the end dimension, so they don't really move, so I guess it would kind of make sense. But as far as location, I think it would be great to find them around villages or a docking station, and more on that in a little bit. Obviously, villages are kind of pre-built and have their own supplies, but it could be really cool for eventually an improved village system, even though that's what this update's all about, to have airships that bring in merchandise, or even, ships that travel on the water as well, to actually provide materials for villages all around the world. Now, this is very much, out of scope for what Minecraft usually has to offer, which is why I wasn't really going to do a video on this until, again, I started playing with it, and I really like the idea. We've also got a bell here to notify the villages whenever they are nearby. Now, as far as what they would bring, I would imagine it's basic farming loot, and you could probably find an abundance of it if you were to raid one of these ships in the sky as well. As you can see, I've used note blocks here. This isn't necessarily a crate, but it looks like it. I love using that. And barrels. Now, there's nothing in the barrels, but let's just imagine there's potatoes, you know, carrots, wheat, all that good stuff. And I've also got some basic loot here, maybe different perks to finding these airships in the sky. I think if you were to travel above and actually go on them, especially early game, it would be great to find adventurous loot that you could use to kind of explore further in the game, because after all, that is what the developers seem to want, is to really promote exploration. Now, this is a backpack. We saw this in my traveling merchant suggestion video, which, by the way, that did end up in the game, and I know a lot of you commented about that, so thank you for letting me know, guys. That was super cool. As you can see, the backpack is wearable. Super cool. This is basically just a shulker box, though. I think this would be a really cool piece of loot to find, as well as rope. Now, this is obviously just a lead, but could you imagine, just for a second, being able to connect two... Oh, well, apparently this doesn't want to work. I guess I have to attach it to a mob first? Oh, that doesn't work either. But being able to connect two different fence posts together, that would be amazing. Or even connect it to a boat. I would love that so much. Rope could be very useful. I've actually got a video about ropes and different things I would like to see coming soon. So make sure to subscribe for that, because you definitely don't want to miss it. Now, just looking around, we don't really have anything else. And in here, we don't really have anything either. But that would probably be about the same loot you would find no matter what. As well as even on the Pillager version. Probably more crossbows and arrows, though, to fit their theme a little bit more. Now, I didn't forget the one main piece of loot that you would find on one of these airships. The reason you would want to go up here in the first place is for a hang glider. Now, hear me out. I know, that's a little bit out there and a little crazy. We've already got the elytra. Why do we need a hang glider? Well, to get an elytra, you do have to go to the end dimension, defeat the dragon, beat the game, essentially, in some people's eyes, and do all of that, which by that point, an elytra is just kind of a toy to play with. But in early stages of Minecraft, a hang glider could be crucial for surviving a lot of, you know, exploration, especially in very high areas. It'd be really cool to be able to have a hang glider that only allows you to slowly fall down to the ground and build up, what's that? A velocity, that's what it is, or momentum, either one. You would never really be able to go up and fly with, you know, the hang glider like you could in Elytra, but this would be a great way to easily get down from high places and avoid fall damage. Now, I don't really see this being a thing in the game, but I think it could be cool. Now, in this case, it's an Elytra, but let's just pretend it's its own item. I would imagine that you would hold it, and the model would show above your head, and you would slowly glide down. I would love to see that, and something very similar to my idea would be that of from the game Cube World. I don't know if you guys remember that one, but let's go ahead and put this back really quickly. Alright, so the next thing I would like to, I guess actually before we do that, Phantom Membrane, that's another thing you could find. Obviously, if they are really high up in the air, they'd be battling a lot of phantoms, or I imagine the front would squash them a little bit, like bugs on a windshield, so they probably have a lot of Phantom Membranes, which for the Elytras could be cool to get, or maybe they even have something to repair the hang gliders, that could be another thing, but basically, guys, you could find these by villages. Like I've been saying, I get really off topic. And they would be, you know, taking merchandise. But we got to have a place for them to get the merchandise. And that's where something really cool comes in that actually expands to a much larger idea. So I'm going to go ahead and teleport to the docking station. All right, there we go. And there's not really much here, but there could be. This is a very basic dock built to the side of this hill in a savanna biome. Now, these are very well known for having really high up, you know, points to really observe the land, especially the really crazy savanna biomes. I forgot what they're called in the moment, but you know which ones I'm talking about. The amplified ones, those are the crazy ones. But it'd be really cool to see villages that are really advanced and very large. I'm talking up to 20 to 30 different villager houses and very large farms taking up huge amounts of land, as well as even castles, like the castle video I did. Link in the description if you want to check that out. It'll also be included, probably in an iCard in the corner, so definitely watch that. It's a good video. But having, you know, a different location for these large airships could be really cool, and it would also make sense as to why there's, you know, merchandise being thrown all the way around the world, or flown, I guess, not thrown. But they could kind of stay at these areas to refill up on their shipments and then sell off to the villages nearby. I think that would be very cool, and oh man, I would love to see freestanding ladders as well. That'd be so cool. Now this one isn't really anything special. There's really nothing different. I just haven't, you know, decorated it much, but we still got the campfire, and that still looks good. But, yeah, I think that's pretty much generally the idea, and this will allow us to kind of look at the boat a little bit more. So before we go, like I said, maybe you would find these in the world with a couple of other colors. It doesn't necessarily have to have the cyan. The gold is also cool because that would allow you to loot it if you do want it. There's a lot of resources you could get from dismantling these things. And the propeller, this is one of my favorite things about it. Some of you may remember I did a live stream recently where we actually built something like this, and this was a suggestion by them, and I love doing this. This looks so good in comparison to what I was trying, so shout out to the Squid Squad, the ones who watch the live streams, which, by the way, guys, I do live streams every other Wednesday or so where I actually do stuff just like this video and analyze the snapshots as well. So I really recommend you subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't already so that you don't miss them. They're very, very cool. We do P.O. Box stuff and all that good stuff as well. Very, very fun time. But anyways, that is basically it for the airships. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I would love to see your opinions and what you think about this fitting in the game. But as of right now, I don't think this would really make it in the game, but I would definitely like to see it. If there's any update that we could use this, it would definitely be Minecraft 1.14. That's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more building related videos and live streams every weekday at 5 p.m. Central Time. Anyways, guys, my name has been System Z. You guys have been awesome, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.